Welcome back to Ielts Highlight. This time, we will look at the first part of Ielts test, the listening. The Ielts listening test is the same for both those taking the academic and general training papers. It consists of 40 questions, 10 per section, and lasts around 30 minutes. You listen only once. While you listen, you can note your answers on the question paper. Then, you will have 10 minutes at the end to transfer your answers from the question paper to the answer sheet. The listening test consists of 4 separate sections, each more difficult than the last. In other words, Part 1 is the easiest and Part 4 is the most difficult. Each part has a different theme or focus. In Section 1, you will hear a conversation between 2 people, and it is almost always someone making an appointment or making a booking of some kind. For example, making a hotel reservation or hiring a car. The questions are normally gap-fill questions in which you have to listen to the information and complete a form or sentence. In Section 2, you will hear someone talking by themselves about a non-academic subject, for example, TV or radio presenter. Section 3 switches to an academic context, and it will always be more than one person discussing something, for example, an academic paper or assignment. Section 4 is normally an academic lecture, and you will hear one person, normally the lecturer or professor, talking for an extended period of time. You will be given a short amount of time, approximately 30 seconds, between each section, and you should use this time to look at the questions coming up. There are several different types of question, and each requires a different strategy, so you should familiarize yourself with all of them. They include form, note, table completion, labeling a diagram or map, sentence completion, short answers, selection, multiple choice, matching. Finally, we have a few tips on how to do well in Ielts listening test. Remember, Ielts test is definitely a lot like a time management test. Use your time well by following our recommended timeline. 1. Read, listen the instructions carefully, especially when it comes to word limit. If the question states no more than 3 words, you can't write any more than this. If your answer is 4 words, for this answer it will be incorrect. Also, before each section, you will be given information about the speaker and what they will be talking about. You won't be tested on this, but it will help you answer the questions that follow by understanding the context. 2. While listening, concentration is key. Most people find it difficult to concentrate for the complete 30 minutes. To improve your concentration, you need to practice active listening. Active listening involves setting yourself small tasks when you are practicing and actually doing something when you are listening, just like you will be in the Ielts listening exam. 3. Also, make sure you don't get tricked. Ielts listening tests will often try to fool you by giving you something that seems like the correct answer first and then changing this to something else later in the recording. For example, your questions might be, the man would like a car. At the start of the recording, the person might say they want a big family car, but then change their minds and say they want a small sports car. If you wrote down the first option, you would be wrong. 4. When write down your answer, be careful with your spelling. Lots of easy marks are thrown away because of poor spelling. My advice is to keep a notebook of words you find difficult to spell. Even native speakers have a hard time with some English words, so the only way is to record and learn. Both US and UK spelling are allowed in the listening test. 5. You will be given a short break, normally around 30 to 40 seconds, before and in the middle of sections. You should not use this time to check your answers from the previous section. You should look at the questions in the next section and try to understand the questions and predict the answers coming next. When you predict, try to think about the context of the question. Can you guess the answer? For example, if there is a $ sign in front of the answer, you will probably be listening for an amount of money. Also, establish what type of word, adjective, noun, verb, etc. the answer will be. 6. Last but not least, it's not just a listening test. It's an understanding, reading, writing, vocabulary, and spelling test. Make sure you practice all of these skills under exam conditions. That's all for IELTS Listening Overview. Watch our next videos for other skills, useful information.